Absolutely. Arju, stay on with us. More breaking news coming in a major breakthrough in the talks between the United States and Ukraine amid the Russia-Ukraine war. The Donald Trump administration agreed to resume the sharing of military intelligence with Kyiv, while the latter said it was open to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Moscow. American and Ukrainian officials held talks in Saudi Arabia in presence of U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Rubio said that U.S. will tell Russia what's on the table, adding that Ukraine is ready to stop shooting and start talking. U.S. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz said that the one thing the Ukrainian delegation made very clear was that they share President Donald Trump's vision for peace. Waltz said that Ukrainian officials got into substantive details on how this war is going to permanently end, including long-term security guarantees. The discussion came hours after Russia shot down more than 300 Ukrainian drones in what was Kyiv's biggest attack since Kremlin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Listen in.
Ukraine, ceasefire, just agreed to a little while ago. Now we have to go to Russia and hopefully President Putin will agree to that also, and we can get this show on the road. We can get this horrible war where 2,000-3,000 soldiers a week, every week, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 sometimes. I get the reports, and they're not American soldiers. They're Ukrainian and they're Russian. But people are being killed outside of that. People are being killed in the cities as things explode throughout the cities, and we want to get that war over with. So I think it's a big difference between the last visit you saw at the Oval Office and this. So that's a total ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed to it, and hopefully Russia will agree to it. We're going to meet with them later on today and tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be able to wipe out a deal. But I think the ceasefire is very important. If we can get Russia to do it, that'll be great. If we can't, we just keep going on and people are going to get killed.
Aditya on the telecast with me. Aditya, take our viewers through the details, please.
Well, absolutely. It's lovely to see, how Ukraine has, the American and Ukraine officials held talks in Saudi Arabia in the presence of the Secretary of State Marco Rubio. So, in a major breakthrough in the talks between the US and Ukraine amid the Russia war, the Trump administration has agreed to resume the sharing of military intelligence with Kyiv, while the latter said it was open to a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Moscow. Now, so American and, let's put this into perspective that Rubio says that US will tell Russia what's on the table, adding that Ukraine is ready to stop shooting and start talking. And now it will be up to them to say yes or no. So this is a very significant development that has happened, and it might pave the way to stop this long, senseless Russia-Ukraine war that has been going for last 3-4 years. Yes, that's happening.
Right, absolutely. Aditya, stay on with us. Meanwhile, joining us at this point of time is Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, international affairs expert. Sir, a very good morning to you, and thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX. Now, after 3 years of the Russia-Ukraine war, Ukraine has now endorsed the American proposal of a 30-day ceasefire. Do you think this is the starting point of a permanent negotiation to end the war?
It's such a pleasure and honor for me to be on your channel. I don't know if this is permanent because as Donald Trump said that, now the ball is in Russia's court. But Savi, allow me to take this from the top, which is that post that harsh interaction at the White House. I mean, the most powerful man, the biggest deal maker in the world, from the largest economy, had his ego busted because, what played out in front of the world is quite unprecedented in diplomacy, at least. And, so after that, with a busted ego, Donald Trump understood and said that, we'll make him pay for it. And as you know, that it was earlier kind of an aid under the Democrats, but Donald Trump doesn't believe in that. So he said, whatever they've done, and he every time inflates the figure too, they'll have to pay in terms of critical minerals because he wants to do a transaction and but bill them for the war. So the Secretary of the State Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz, NSA, Ukrainian Foreign Minister, the Saudi Foreign Minister, and the NSA advisory met in Jeddah. And they have been working very strongly behind the curtains. And that was one aspect. And the other aspect, they really cornered Ukraine by, just withdrawing the aid, withdrawing the intelligence input. And, just recently 300 Ukrainian drones were brought down by the Russians. And, Ukraine is really having the back against the wall because, Europe wants to stand up for Ukraine, but Delhi bahut dur hai. I mean, they might be pledging in 900 billion euros, but that is only for the future to see how it pans out. So they really cornered Ukraine, and especially with the depleting even arms and ammunition. So on one hand, Donald Trump knew that if he's going to withdraw this umbrella from Ukraine, and Russia is getting more and more aggressive because now Putin is operating with impunity, and he knows that this is his kind of lame duck period in whatever land, he already has 20% of it, he can get under him, that is him, and that's where he's going to start the deal on. So I don't think the Ukrainians, and for that matter, Zelensky had much of a choice, and they have, for me, it's like a deal that the Americans have cornered him to get into it. And allow me to make just one last point, Sabri, that this is far beyond Ukraine and NATO. This is actually a Cold War 2.0 where, it's the critical minerals that, China probably has 65% of the world reserves. And you need that in everything today, in telephone, in Elon Musk's cars, batteries, and spaceships. So this is more of a China versus America going on, and critical minerals is what Donald Trump now wants to extract in all the aid that he, the Democrats give. And if you see, Donald Trump is still pretty much in election mode. I mean, he still brings out, Joe Biden in every conversation 3 times a day. So I think, this is the first part, the first phase has played out. But now it depends on Russia, how Russia pans out. And as you know, that America has also had a backhand handshake with Russia, because at the end of the day, America also wants to keep Russia on the right side, because if they don't keep Russia on the right side, then Russia goes into the Chinese, lap. So this is far more, and Zelensky and Ukraine have been now caught, as they say, in the crossfire, and this deal has happened, Asavi.
Right, absolutely. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast, sharing your perspectives with our viewers. On that note, we slip to a very short break. Thanks for watching.